There's one core doctrine, one core idea that every Protestant ought to answer for themselves, okay? And if once you raise the question, I think it points you inevitably to the Catholic Church. How do you know what the Christian faith is? How do you know what the Christian faith is? Now, instantly the Protestant says, well, no, because the Bible tells me. All right, well, who told you that that's where you should go to answer this question? Who told you? Did Jesus tell us the Bible is our rule of faith?
Right.
Now, once you raise the question, instantly you know, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Jesus said that he was the final authority. He frequently invoked his own authority over against that of the Old Testament. You've heard that it's written, but I say to you. And then when he ascended into heaven, he gave that interpretive authority to his apostles. He said, I have all authority. You therefore go into all nations and make disciples. And whoever hears you hears me. Whoever rejects you rejects me. And then the very earliest Christians understood that as referring to the apostolic succession of bishops. St. Ignatius of Antioch in the 2nd century, quoting the Gospel of Luke, says we have to hear those who Christ sent as Christ himself, namely the bishop. And so the question is, how do you know what the Christian faith is? Well, you know by looking to the rule of faith that Christ gave us. He gave us the teaching church, the magisterium of the teaching church, to answer that question. All you have to do is ask, did Jesus tell us the Bible alone? You can search the Scriptures from cover to cover. You'll never find Jesus saying, if you have a doctrinal question, go to the Bible alone. No, he pointed us to the teaching church.
And St. Paul in 2 Thessalonians 2:15 says, hold on to the traditions which I left you,
Absolutely.
whether by word or by letter.
One of my favorite passages in the Church Fathers is from Tertullian, the North African theologian. He writes a book called The Prescription Against Heretics. And then he actually looks at this question, if I have a theological question, should I look to the Bible alone for an answer? He raises this as a possibility. Is the Bible alone a sufficient rule of faith? And he automatically says, no, he rejects that idea. Why? Well, for the obvious reason that different groups have different interpretations of Scripture. History shows it's not a sufficient rule of faith. How do you know what the Christian faith is? And Tertullian says, the only way you know is you go to the churches founded by apostles that are in apostolic succession. What is the faith that those churches teach and hold? That's the way you know what the Christian faith is. And it's only the interpretation of Scripture that lines up with that rule of faith that is to be accepted. And of course, when you move to Irenaeus, he identifies the premier church, of course, is the Church of Rome.
If I put my trust in Him, there's nothing He can't do. If I reach up, I'll find He's reaching down with a miracle. A window in my sorrow, a miracle. An answer to my prayer, a miracle. A doorway to believing. with a